Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the all-new 2019 Hyundai Veloster R-Spec. In this review, I'm going to cover all of the ins and outs, take it on a thorough drive, and show you many of the unique aspects throughout the interior as well as exterior. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up and let her run. With its asymmetric 2+1 configuration, the Veloster has always been one of the most characterful offerings in its segment. On the driver's side, you have the appeal of a sport coupe, but on the passenger side, there's an extra door to make getting in the rear seat a bit easier. All new for 2019, the second generation Veloster continues to capitalize on that character while making great strides in refinement and athleticism. No joke, this has been one of the most fun cars I've driven this year. It's night and day compared to its predecessor. There's going to be 5 models of the Veloster available. Base pricing before options and destinations starts at $18,500 or $19,500 if you go for the automatic transmission. The Veloster Premium, which comes standard with the auto, starts at $22,750. After that, you have the 3 turbo models. The R-Spec starts at $22,900, while the turbo with a dual clutch transmission starts at $25,400. The range-topping turbo ultimate starts at $26,650 or $28,150 with the DCT. The new Veloster is already a really sharp-looking car. It's got a great stance to it, but the turbo models enhance it even more with unique wheel options, different front and rear fascias, side skirts, LED headlamps and tail lamps, and instead of the single polished exhaust outlet, all of the turbo models have dual outlets. In my opinion, as you'll see throughout the video, the R-Spec is the best value. You have a good level of standard equipment, it's super fun, and feels more pure without all of the creature comforts. Sometimes it's nice to be simple. All in, total MSRP for what you see here is $23,910, and that includes a destination charge of $885 and $125 for carpeted floor mats. Alloy wheels are standard across the board. You have 17 by 7 inch wheels on the base and 18 by 7.5 inch wheels on the rest of the lineup. The R-Spec has a unique split 5-spoke design with dark gray paint. And what's pretty cool is that while most wheels come standard with all-season tires, if you have 18-inch wheels and decide to opt for a model that has a 6-speed manual transmission, you get Michelin Pilot Sport 4 summer tires, which offer a lot of grip without a big penalty in ride quality. They measure 225/40 at each corner. 4-wheel disc brakes are also standard across the board, ventilated in front and solid in the rear. Turbo models actually have larger front discs that span 12 inches. The rear discs span 10.3 inches. All discs are clamped down by single piston calipers. Along with ABS with brake assist and electronic brake force distribution, all models have torque vectoring control, which uses wheel speed sensors coupled to stability control algorithms to apply braking force to the inside front wheel during spirited cornering. This helps redirect power to the outside wheel for enhanced grip and reduced wheel spin. The steering is a rack and pinion design with electric power assistance. The level of assistance varies depending on driving conditions, while the steering feel can be adjusted via 3 drive modes, which I'll talk about more in just a moment. Turbo models have a quicker ratio steering rack and revised calibration to match. It leads to more precise control, cornering, and feedback. The steering is accurate with a linear buildup of effort with more road feel than the previous generation. It's a pretty sweet setup. Underneath, you have a McPherson strut front suspension with coil springs and gas shock absorbers. Replacing the previous torsion beam setup is an independent multi-link rear suspension with coil springs and gas shock absorbers. There's standard front and rear stabilizer bars on all models, with larger ones on the turbo that have a thickness of 24mm in front and 19mm in the rear. The suspension is a tad stiffer as well. The new Veloster also features aluminum front steering knuckles and an aluminum rear suspension carrier. They reduce weight by 10.6 pounds and 8.4 pounds respectively over the previous generation. It really is amazing the difference between this Veloster and the last one. Hyundai really did their homework in creating a far more rewarding car to drive that keeps you more connected with what's going on with the road.
What's up everyone? So we all have our daily grooming routines, and I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about Dollar Shave Club, but I bet you didn't know that they now carry all of the products to satisfy those needs. Things like toothpaste, hair products, body wash, and of course, high quality razors. Dollar Shave Club just sent me their Daily Essentials starter set and I really like it. It comes with 3 trial size versions of their most popular products, as well as their exclusive razor and 4 replacement cartridges. They're currently offering this starter set to new members for only $5. So whether you're clean shaven, a lumberjack, or somewhere in between, be sure to check out the link in the description box below or head to dollarshaveclub.com/SobKyle04.
Between the different models, the Veloster is offered with 2 engines, either a naturally aspirated 2-liter multi-port injected 4-cylinder or a turbocharged 1.6-liter direct injected 4-cylinder. The 2-liter, available in the base and premium models, develops 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. It also runs on the Atkinson cycle for greater efficiency and reduced emissions. You can get it with either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic. The 1.6-liter is available in the R-Spec and above. It develops 201 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 195 pound-feet of torque between 1,500 and 4,500 RPM. Hyundai claims this represents a best-in-class specific output of 125.6 horsepower per liter. On top of that, there's an overboost function that raises peak torque to 202 pound-feet under maximum acceleration. This engine is tuned to optimize low and mid-range torque to benefit acceleration under daily driving conditions. The turbo models actually have active engine sound, which augments the sounds from the intake and exhaust through the vehicle's audio system. Fake or not, it still sounds awesome. I mentioned earlier about the drive modes. All the Velosters come with 3 drive modes regardless of the engine and transmission. You have normal, sport, and smart. Smart's like an auto setting that adapts things like throttle response and steering firmness to your driving style. On turbo models, the modes alter the level of active engine sound, and if you go for either the automatic transmission or the dual clutch transmission, they also alter the shift algorithm. Speaking of, depending on the model, the Veloster turbos are offered with either a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed dual clutch transmission with paddle shifters. The R-Spec is only offered with the manual, and to further differentiate it, it includes a B&M short shifter kit. The shift quality is excellent with a clear take-up point in the clutch and good feel, similar to some Hondas I've driven in the past, and by far the best manual transmission that Hyundai's developed up to this point. All of the power is sent to the front wheels, and despite not having a limited slip differential, there's excellent wheel control up front. Even under harder launches, I really didn't notice any torque steer. Fuel economy for the R-Spec ranges between 26 miles per gallon in the city and 33 miles per gallon on the highway. You can expect an average of around 29 miles per gallon. There's a 13.2 gallon tank and it runs on regular 87 octane. The interior of the new Veloster is a huge improvement over its predecessor. One downside is that it's still on the plasticky side as far as the materials used. There's not much in the name of soft touch materials, just a little bit on the armrest and center console. That being said, build quality is still very good. The interior feels solid, and there's a lot of nice textures across many of the surfaces. One thing that I really like too is that each trim level is easily identifiable with different combinations of fabric and pops of color across the dashboard and seats. One of the first things you'll notice when climbing into the new Veloster is that the layout of the dashboard and center console is now more driver-focused. Depending on the trim level and which transmission you choose, Hyundai offers a ton of driver assistance technology in the new Veloster. Forward collision avoidance, driver attention warning, and lane keep assist are standard across the board, but you also have things like blind spot collision warning, rear cross traffic warning, smart cruise control, and more. The R-Spec is equipped just like the base when it comes to all that driver assistance tech, so it's kept on the simpler side. Aside from those standard features that I just mentioned, you also have a driver's blind spot mirror and the typical suite of airbags found throughout. The driver's seat is manually adjustable 6 different ways, including height adjustment. The passenger seat is 4-way adjustable, the headrests are adjustable, and the steering wheel is adjustable for both tilt and reach. On the 2 highest trim levels, the driver's seat also gets power lumbar. The seats are just about perfect for a car like this. They're on the firm side, but there's good overall support to keep things comfortable long term. You also have some big lateral bolsters to keep you hugged in tight around corners. Heated seats are standard on the more premium models. The Veloster is offered with 2 different audio systems. On the base, you have a 6-speaker setup, while all the other models utilize an 8-speaker Infinity audio system, which includes a rear-mounted subwoofer. Also for the base, you have a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system, while the rest of the models utilize a larger 8-inch screen. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is standard across the board, but only on the Turbo Ultimate do you have built-in navigation. The system is very easy to use. You have Bluetooth telephones, satellite radio, and a whole bunch of other media options. A single-zone climate control system is standard. Other things you can get with more premium grades include a wireless phone charging tray, automatic air conditioning, and a heads-up display. And despite its compact dimensions, the Veloster has a pretty decent amount of interior space for both passengers and cargo. You have big door pockets, a lot of space across the center console, and a large glove box. Now we can move on to one of the more interesting aspects of the car, the rear seat. Like I said, with this asymmetric door configuration, you can get into the rear seat 2 different ways. On the passenger side, there's a conventional door, but on the driver's side, it's like a conventional coupe where you have to push the driver's seat forward. Of course, it'd be a lot more practical if you had 2 doors on the driver's side, but what's the point? This is the Veloster's claim to fame. It's something that no other manufacturer does, and it really makes this car stand out. The new Veloster actually has a little bit more rear seat headroom this go around. It's still a little tight trying to get in. Taller people are going to want to duck their head, but once you're in, I'm 5'10". As you can see, there was a little bit of room left to spare. Last but not least, let's talk about trunk space. With its convenient hatch orientation, the Veloster can pack quite a bit of stuff, 19 cubic feet worth to be exact. With a 50-50 split folding rear seat, you can also put them down and load up cargo all the way to the front. Lift height is a tad high, but other than that, it's a really practical space. There's illumination. Underneath the trunk floor, you have a temporary spare tire with all of the necessary changing equipment. There's latch anchors behind the seats and a removable privacy cover.
Now let's go ahead and see how she sounds. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2019 Hyundai Veloster R-Spec. Be sure to stay tuned next time, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to. There's always a lot more where that came from. Take care, everyone.